A clash of the titans in the activism space in Nigeria. One is the son of an African legend. The other is a self-made firebrand who started in a small dingy room with a circle light. But what turned their mutual respect into a public war that has pretty much divided Nigeria? Today, we are revealing and unboxing the shocking fallout between Seun Kuti and Very Dark Man. Welcome to Efua Speaks, the platform for the independent mind. If you like videos like this, please be a darling, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell notification for more videos like this one. Now back to the rest of the video. Very Dark Man was a hustler who was trying to figure out how he would survive and take care of his family. Prior to starting videos, he was a loctician, a hairdresser. He was not some social media guru who studied communications and social media before becoming an influencer. He started from a small room with a circle light and just started talking. You see, Very Dark Man's style of advocacy is this. He confronts his target online. When they respond, he continues the momentum until there's a resolution or the story fades out. As he begins to evolve, he started connecting the dots on issues while confronting the target. This creates a tension that is difficult to ignore. The targets respond by using law enforcement and social media community guidelines reporting to intimidate and censor Very Dark Man. In the midst of his censorship and persecution, he began showing videos and pictures of Seun Kuti and how their relationship has evolved into one of the most controversial rifts on social media. I interviewed Seun Kuti a few years ago. Activist, just as a citizen that cares about the country, what has it been like, and do you think that there's any progress?
Well, first and foremost, I don't see myself as an activist.
Okay.
I am a revolutionary.
For one of my documentaries, and it was said that he took over his father's band, Egypt 80. When you hear the sound like I did, it's fluid, and it is synonymous to the original Afrobeat sound of his father. With Kuti as the prestigious dynasty of Afrobeats, he's able to speak against the ills of the Nigerian society. He was very vocal against the Nigerian government and was part of the pro-democracy movement. He also continued the movement of the People Party his father started. These are noble causes, but why the clash with Martin's Vincent Osse, also known as Very Dark Man? I believe Seun could identify with Very Dark Man because of the persecution his father Fela faced with the Nigerian government. The beatings, imprisonment, and other styles of repression. However, those strategies of censorship produced the opposite result than what Very Dark Man's enemies intended. But how did these methods, initially used to intimidate him, become the catalyst that propelled him to become the most influential Nigerian on social media? Then, also be at loggerheads with the son of the greatest musician in Africa. Very Dark Man's controversy started after the 2023 general elections. This was when he realized that after fully supporting Peter Obi was unsuccessful, he started targeting social media vendors. When vendors weren't paying their customers, VDM was on the case that had turned his entire platform around, the Jenny's Glow case. As Very Dark Man was working on the campaign against Jenny's Glow, he started by inquiring about their NAFDAC number, which is the National Agency for Food and Drug and Control. As he was on that case, his TikTok accounts kept being taken down. Many Jenny's Glow fans were reporting his channel. He did not relent, but his Instagram page kept growing. Meanwhile, the victim put out a message stating that she's no longer angry with Jenny's Glow. She also threw VDM under the bus. Jenny's Glow also sued VDM for 500 million naira. This was just a tip of the iceberg of what Very Dark Man went through regarding betrayals. Seun Kuti, however, comes from a dynasty that is familiar with speaking up for victims, and their paths began to connect. Very Dark Man's link with celebrities started from the Justice for Mohbad case. This story is one of the most controversial celebrity mysteries on social media and legacy media in Nigeria. When the entire crowd blamed Mohbad's producer, Naira Marley, Very Dark Man had a different train of thought. He wanted investigation to Mohbad's wife. This angered Nigerian celebrity actors and socialites, some of which are Iyabo Ojo and Tonto Dike. This saga thrusted VDM to the limelight. Gist Lover, a popular Nigerian blogger, exposed his nude photos. Very Dark Man was also arrested. Instead of this persecution suppressing his voice, it magnified it. In the midst of the saga, Tunde Ednut picked up the story and they became fast friends. But did this life-altering experience change VDM or strengthen his resolve? As Rattles, we have followed Very Dark Man since 2022. We would watch him unbox gifts from people in the diaspora. Suddenly, he talked about linking with Davido. Following, he was in a hotel or Airbnb, don't remember, booked by Davido. When he got back to Abuja, he narrated his experience. He was like a kid in a playground. He also told us that Davido wanted to give him money, but he refused. We were shocked. Very Dark Man narrated that he wanted to impact society. He also told Davido that when he needs the money for humanity, he'll ask. It was then he told us that he wouldn't take brand ambassadorship, sponsorships, or endorsements. But do you know where he went to during his first trip to Lagos? Davido wasn't his first stop in Lagos. Before the glitz and the glamour of Davido's hospitality, VDM went to one place that felt like home to his activist spirit, Seun Kuti's house. One thing I appreciate about Very Dark Man is this. He's an open book. Seun Kuti hosted him and spent some time with him. Their journeys intersected. Seun Kuti is vocal about Pan-Africanism and self-determination. Very Dark Man has gone through a few rounds of jail time with the police. I think Seun appreciated VDM's boldness and saw him as an asset. Regularly, Very Dark Man will refer to Seun Kuti during his public posts. He had a reverence for him because of his father, Fela. But how did their relationship go from mentorship to rivalry? But while things were looking up with the celebrity musicians, the foundation of his most important mentorship was starting to crack. Very Dark Man posted a video that showed him and Seun Kuti. They were performing a ritual in front of his father's grave. Very Dark Man took this to heart because he looks up to Fela as an inspiration for his fight for a better Nigeria. He felt that the closest way to be close to his mentor was through his son, Seun. Seun hosted him like a brother, but soon he would be calling VDM's own followers rats. We'll get to the moment of betrayal in a second. Very Dark Man was in a banter with Sowore. This was based on Sowore discrediting VDM on occasion. Well, VDM was having a banter with B-Lord, a businessman. Things came to a head when B-Lord put a billboard with VDM promoting one of his apps. The businessman has his own run-ins with law enforcement in Nigeria because of some questionable business practices. VDM wanted nothing to do with him. He also does not want to be associated with any brand. He filed a petition against B-Lord, which resulted in his arrest and conviction in Kuje prison. Upon hearing about this, Sowore posted the issue on X. He stated that he would inform his lawyer, who happened to be VDM's lawyer, Marshal Abubakar, to withdraw the petition. This action made Very Dark Man angry. He responded and did a web series on Showore's intention for Nigeria. One of which is, he doesn't intend to become president, but just to raise funds. He also said that Showore's revolution now has no structure. This put Seun in an impossible position, sparking the most controversial fallout we have seen on social media. Did Sowore have something on Seun Kuti? Because Seun Kuti just sided with Sowore all of a sudden and berated Very Dark Man. He literally threw him under the bus. He went further, calling Rattles rats. This was because they responded to his videos and live streaming on social media. He looked to Seun as a mentor, and he believed that the ritual cemented the bond they shared. I know that place very well because I interviewed Seun in that museum. Very Dark Man took that moment to heart. He was under the impression that they are now brothers. He has immense respect for Seun because of Fela. The question remains, did Seun feel the same way about Very Dark Man? Does VDM trust anyone? No. Do I blame him? No. The conundrum is this. So many victims have thrown him under the bus. Some denied he's ever spoken to him or worked with their oppressor to settle behind closed doors. He is currently having issues with Justice Crack, another commentator on social media, but I believe they will sort themselves out. Will he take a chance on people till he finds his true tribe? Or will he box himself in paranoia? However, think about this. Do the victim betrayals stem from desperation due to poverty or just plain jealousy? Recently, Seun Kuti went live and asked some critical questions. What does VDM do that makes him so special? What is he doing that the government is not doing? Does VDM impact the education system, job creation, or do they just go about cleaning everywhere? I don't know what Seun is feeling because I'm not Seun. However, the statement he's making sounds like another level of jealousy, envy. I may be wrong. I hope so. Do you know I covered the exact saga between Seun Kuti and VDM in another video? Check it out in the cards. Very Dark Man's response determines whether the relationship will continue or it is irrevocably broken. VDM didn't stay quiet. Here's a quick summary of what he wrote. He said it on Instagram. Because of VDM's impact, vendors are more cautious about scamming customers. Celebrities can no longer promote Ponzi schemes. Fake and misleading advertisements have reduced. VDM is now a form of law enforcement in Nigeria, addressing various cases, including the recovery of a newborn baby. Let's not just talk about land, money, and other things recovered from VDM's investigations. He's also an advocate, and here are just a few of his efforts. There was a 7 million naira levy that NAFDAC was going to issue to marketers in Anambra State. Due to VDM's intervention, that fee was revoked. FCT teachers, they had a strike, but it was called off and students were able to return to school. He currently gives 1 million naira a month for youth skill acquisition. He also said a bunch of other things, and he ended the post by saying, "Now Seun Kuti, who are you? Do you think this relationship is irretrievably broken? Here are my thoughts. With men, they really don't take things to heart like we women. In male relationships, if there's extreme wrongdoing, all you meet is anger, wrath, or malice. Most times, they are able to reconcile their differences over a drink or a social occasion. On social media, people catch crews and could make up eventually. However, from the looks of things, I think their relationship may not recover because of VDM's recent statements and posts. He said he will continue to bring up their feud on social media. When Seun thinks there is peace, VDM will always stir up controversy. That is not a good sign. I think Seun could have played a role of a mentor and elder to Very Dark Man. Once he took sides with Shoore, he brought himself down from the pedestal that VDM put him in. He went down further by calling Rattel's rats. Some may say it's jealousy, but do you think it's envy? Sometimes middle aged people do two things when they're around young people. They're either inspired and live their lives vicariously through them, or the young person exposes some regret of a life that could have been. I think Seun Kuti has regrets that only he can talk about. What are your thoughts on this? Let's discuss further in the comments. Also, I have two videos about Very Dark Man's fallout with Seun Kuti in the end screen of this video. Be a darling, like, subscribe, click on the bell notification so that you can get more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.